Have you ever wondered why there is a massive empty space on flight tracking maps, right in the heart of Asia? Open any global air traffic monitor right now, and you'll notice something peculiar. Thousands of aircraft crisscrossing the world's skies, yet a vast region over the Tibetan Plateau remains eerily empty. It's as if an invisible barrier surrounds this area, with flights deliberately charting paths around it rather than through it. This isn't some random coincidence or technical glitch. The Tibetan Plateau, often called the roof of the world, spans an area 5 times larger than France, yet remains one of aviation's most avoided regions. The harsh geographical reality. The Tibetan Plateau stands as Earth's highest and largest plateau, covering approximately 2.5 million square kilometers across multiple countries. Despite its immense size, only about 14 million people inhabit this vast wilderness, making it one of the most sparsely populated regions on the planet after Antarctica and northern Greenland. The extreme altitude creates a harsh environment where oxygen levels are significantly lower than at sea level. These forbidding conditions shape not just life on the ground, but also the movement above it. The average elevation of over 14,000 feet presents a critical problem for commercial aircraft operations, particularly during emergencies. When planes need to descend rapidly, as during a cabin depressurization event, they typically aim for 10,000 feet where passengers can breathe without supplemental oxygen. Over Tibet, such a descent would mean certain collision with the plateau itself, creating a deadly scenario with virtually no margin for error. A deadly historical lesson. The dangers of flying over the Tibetan Plateau were grimly demonstrated during World War II, when Allied forces attempted to airlift crucial supplies from British India to China. This 840-kilometer route, known as the Hump, became one of aviation history's deadliest passages. Pilots battled extreme turbulence, unpredictable weather, winds reaching 320 kilometers per hour, and freezing temperatures that could solidify their fuel. The human cost was staggering. Over 42 months of operations, 594 aircraft, and 1,659 crew members vanished among the remote mountains. These losses exceeded those of the entire Battle of Britain, with crash rates reaching a horrifying 50% during certain months. Each lost plane became a somber testament to the region's unforgiving nature, creating a historical precedent that continues to influence modern aviation decisions. These wartime experiences taught aviation experts that this area demands extraordinary respect. Even with today's technological advancements, modern aviation challenges today's aircraft are technological marvels compared to their World War II counterparts. Yet the fundamental challenges of the Tibetan Plateau remain largely unchanged. Emergency scenarios that would be manageable elsewhere become potentially catastrophic here. A cabin depressurization event requires immediate descent to breathable altitudes, an impossible maneuver over terrain that averages 14,000 feet in elevation. The oxygen masks that drop during such emergencies typically provide only 20 minutes of breathable air, insufficient time to reach any distant emergency landing sites. The limited airport infrastructure compounds these dangers significantly. The few international airports capable of handling large commercial aircraft, Lhasa, Jining, Kathmandu, Chengdu, Urumqi, and Almaty, form merely a ring around this vast region. A 2018 incident highlighted these risks when a Sichuan Airlines flight experienced a windshield blowout while crossing the plateau. The pilots managed to divert to Chengdu, but only because they were fortunate enough to be near the plateau's edge when the emergency occurred. The technical barriers. The weather patterns above the Tibetan Plateau create additional hazards that modern aviation prefers to avoid. When powerful winds encounter the plateau's mountainous terrain, they form wave-shaped patterns that generate severe turbulence at cruising altitudes. This turbulence isn't merely uncomfortable. It can complicate any emergency response and potentially damage aircraft structures during prolonged exposure. Temperature presents another critical concern for long-haul flights. At high altitudes above this already elevated region, temperatures can plummet below -40 degrees Celsius, approaching the freezing point of jet fuel. While modern aircraft have heating systems to prevent fuel freezing, extended exposure during lengthy transits across the plateau introduces unnecessary risk. Commercial aviation prioritizes predictability and safety margins, making the combination of these technical challenges sufficient reason to plot routes around rather than over this imposing geographic feature. Why this matters? today. The absence of air traffic over the Tibetan Plateau serves as a humbling reminder that despite our technological progress, nature still imposes boundaries on human movement.
Oh.
In an age where we can communicate instantly across continents and travel around the globe in hours, this aviation dead zone represents one of the few remaining natural barriers we choose to respect rather than overcome. It's not about inability. It's about recognizing when risk outweighs convenience. Thank you for joining us at Mindcrafted for this exploration of one of aviation's most fascinating geographical challenges. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever noticed this empty space on flight maps? Perhaps you've traveled on a route that circumnavigated the Tibetan Plateau. Share your experiences in the comments below. If you enjoyed learning about this aeronautical puzzle, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button to support more content that explores the fascinating intersections of geography, technology, and human ingenuity. Until next time, keep looking up, just not over Tibet.